Hi friends, Miss Kristi here, and I am so excited to be together again cooking in the kitchen. Today we are learning how to make my favorite summertime treat, a s'more. But we don't even need a campfire to make this. We'll cook it in an air fryer for 3 minutes and it turns out ooey and gooey and chocolatey, and it just tastes so good. We're gonna have fun making this together today, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, the first step to cooking and working in the kitchen is to wash our hands. While I wash my hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, let's go over the ingredients and supplies that you'll need to gather to cook along today. The ingredients you'll need are 2 graham crackers, 2 large marshmallows, and half of a chocolate bar, or about 6 squares of chocolate. The supplies you'll need are a cutting board, a spatula, and a pizza cutter. Okay, great. Your hands are clean and my hands are clean. We've gathered our ingredients and supplies, so let's get started making our air fryer s'more. A couple things I love about this treat is not only does it taste good, but when we use our air fryer, we can make it year-round anytime you get a craving for a s'more. And we don't actually have to measure anything either. We're just assembling our s'more and popping it in, cooking it, and then we get to enjoy it. So the first thing we'll need to do is, again, you will need an air fryer for this because that's where we're gonna cook this and warm it up and make our marshmallows all ooey gooey. So you're gonna need an air fryer with you today, and you're going to want to take your graham crackers. So the ingredient list called for 2 graham crackers. So you're gonna have 2 graham crackers, and I'm just gonna do this right on my cutting board. We are gonna cut a marshmallow in half, so we have a cutting board today, so that's where I'm just going to make my s'mores. So first of all, we're just gonna break each cracker in half as carefully as you can. If you end up breaking it and it's not in half, if you have another graham cracker, I would grab that. So we just need to make 4 pieces. All right, and then just set that to the side because we're about to put a marshmallow on them, but first we need to cut our marshmallow in half. So grab your marshmallows and your pizza cutter. That's what we're gonna use today to slice them in half. I find it easier than trying to use a butter knife or a knife because sometimes that can get stuck, and at least with a paper cutter or a pizza cutter, you can keep rolling it back and forth. So you're gonna take your 2 marshmallows, put them on your cutting board, put your marshmallows to the side, we only need 2. And now we're just going to cut them in half. So I'm going to lay them on my board and grab one end, carefully find the middle the best you can, doesn't have to be perfect, and just cut this in half. It's a little bit sticky and that's okay. And then the same thing with the other one. Whichever way you want to cut it, as long as it's down the middle, and pull it apart. Okay, that's all we need our pizza cutter for, so you can put your pizza cutter aside. And now just move your graham crackers in front of you, and we're just going to take each graham cracker and set it on top of the other one. So they're stacked now. Grab your marshmallows and put 2 marshmallows sticky side down. So you can see the side that we cut is sticky. That's what we want down on our graham cracker. So put 1 marshmallow on 1 graham cracker and the other 2 halves sticky side down on the other graham cracker. So why are we doing this? Because we cut the marshmallow in half and put the sticky side down. That way when we put it in the air fryer, they don't fly around. So there's a lot of air moving around in an air fryer, and if we didn't cut them in half and try to like glue them down basically, they would fly all over the air fryer and they wouldn't stay on our graham cracker. That's also the reason that we are putting 1 graham cracker on top of another. This is how it needs to set in our air fryer. If not, and you just put this one in there, it's gonna move all around. So this is gonna help hold it down and make it warm, so it's not tossing out everywhere in your air fryer. At this point, we have our 2 s'mores assembled. We're gonna wait to put the chocolate on until it's cooked, because if not, it gets a little bit too warm and too melted in here, so we're gonna do that at the end. So now we just need to warm up our marshmallows and get them fluffy and ooey and gooey. Plug in your air fryer if you haven't already, and these are gonna cook at 400 degrees. So I'm going to plug my air fryer in and first set it to 400 degrees. That's where we wanna cook at, okay? Now, just go ahead and take out your basket And all I'm gonna do, I don't have tinfoil or anything today because it shouldn't really get too messy in there. The marshmallows will stay on your graham cracker, but I'm just gonna take both graham crackers, one on top of the other, and set one down, and then the same thing with the other one. This is just how they'll cook, and they're only gonna cook for 3 minutes, all right? So I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna set it for 3 minutes, and then when it's done, we'll use our spatula and we'll talk about getting them out. All right, friends, this is exciting. Our 3-minute timer just went off, so these have only cooked in our air fryer for 3 minutes. I'm going to unplug my air fryer, and carefully, without touching any part of the basket, I'm just grabbing the handle. I'm going to pull them out and set them on a protected surface. So my cutting board is wood, I can set them on here. You'll wanna have like a pot holder or something, but we do wanna get these out right away. Normally we would let them cool, but because we want our chocolate to start melting, it's important that we put it on our s'more rather quickly. So I'm gonna grab my spatula, and again, I'm just going to carefully scoop them out. So I'm not gonna touch any of this part. It's still very warm, which is why we're using a spatula today. I'm just going to pull out one, put it on my cutting board, pull out the other, set it on my cutting board, and then you're done with the air fryer for today, so you can set all that to the side. Again, very hot, so either put it back in your air fryer or set it in the sink somewhere that can continue to cool. You can also put your spatula to the side. We're done with that. But from here, all we're gonna do is put our chocolate on and put the top on, and we are done. I'm just gonna have them in front of me, and I'm gonna grab my half a bar of chocolate. So again, you can either use like a half of a Hershey bar, any type of milk chocolate bar, and we are gonna break it in half because I need 3 pieces on each. So I've got 3 pieces for one s'more, just gonna set it here. 3 pieces for another s'more. All right, now I'm going to put the top on. So I'm just grabbing this graham cracker from underneath, putting it on top of the chocolate. And now I do want to let this cool for 2 minutes, because if we took a bite of this right now, those marshmallows are really hot. They cooked at 400 degrees in an air fryer. So don't eat this right away. I want to let the chocolate melt a little bit with the graham cracker anyways. So let this cool for 2 minutes, and then we'll talk about finishing it and give it a try. All right, friends, so we have let this cool for about 2 minutes. That way, when we take a bite, it doesn't burn our mouths. The chocolate has had a chance to melt as well. But as you can see, I just have a little plate here. I'm gonna pop these on a plate. You don't have to use a plate. You could just eat it just like this. But how simple was that? So again, we just cooked it in an air fryer at 400 degrees for 3 minutes. Then we popped our chocolate on, let it sit for 2 minutes to cool, and now you can have a s'more throughout the whole year. This is my favorite summertime treat, so now I'm excited to get to cook it whenever I have a craving. And too, if you have ever tried like a Reese's peanut butter cup instead of chocolate, there's different things that you can put on your marshmallow instead of chocolate. So try some different things, see what you like, see what you don't like. I have heard a peanut butter cup on here is really good as well. I've not tried it, but why not try it? Try this, try that. Either way, I hope you do try and make it. And when you do, let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I love getting to hear from you. You can even send me a picture of how your s'more turned out. I would love to get to see your creation, and maybe we can share it next week. Speaking of next week, on next week's episode, which is episode 49, we are learning how to make easy, cheesy potatoes. These potatoes are super easy. We only used 5 ingredients, and they only cook in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. In order to cook along and make easy cheesy potatoes next week, these are the ingredients that you'll need to have in your kitchen. 2 frozen hash brown patties, half a cup of shredded cheese, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of pepper. Well, friends, our time together today is almost over. I do hope you've enjoyed learning how to make our air fryer s'mores. I know I had fun, and I already can't wait to cook together again next time. But before you say goodbye to this episode, make sure to click subscribe if you haven't already. You just have to click the little picture of me in the corner. That way you don't miss next week's episode. It'll be out on Friday, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends. It's time to eat.